Hey guys, just wanted to put together a quick video for you, tell you some of the equipment that you need to get before we get down to Grand Isle. If you got any questions, just call me after you watch this video. I'll leave you my phone number and everything. The first thing you're going to need for the trip is a surf rod. Obviously the tackle that we're going to be using down there is a lot bigger than the stuff that you normally use for bass fishing or even big cat fishing and stuff. We're going after bull reds and sharks, and some of them are 30 or 40 pounds. Upwards to about 60 pounds or even bigger. You know, never know what you're going to get out there. So the first thing you're going to need is a surf rod. This is a 13-foot surf rod. I got this at Academy Sports several years back. They make them anywhere from 12 to 15 feet. Doesn't really matter. This gives you a lot of leverage out there. We're going to wade out, you know, chest deep, and then with this extra length on this rod, you're able to really get your bait a long way out there. So we'll be casting maybe 100 yards, and then with the additional 80 to 100 yards that we're walking out there, you're going to have about 200 yards of line out there. The second thing is the reel that you need. Oversized reel, regular spinning reel, same kind that you use for big catfish or anything else will work. You don't have to spend all the extra money on a saltwater rig, but saltwater does wreak havoc on your equipment, so it's good to keep it oiled up and cleaned when you get back. I've had this one several years and it's still working just fine. I've taken good care of it. But this whole setup is not very expensive. I think the rod's like 30 bucks, 40 bucks, and the reel's like 30 bucks. So for less than $100, including your line, you'll be set up to go with us. And now the line that I use is Power Pro. I like Power Pro a lot better. It's braided line. This is what it looks like right here. Now, I suggest getting either 65 pounds or heavier. I wouldn't go any lighter than that. And rig your line with as much as it'll take. You probably need at least 300 yards on there if you can get it on there. Because like I said, we're going to be out maybe 150 to 200 yards. And so you want that extra line in case you catch a big fish and you're able to fight him. So the rod, the reel, and the braided line. Those are, you need to have those. Next thing you need is a rod holder. Now they make a bunch of conventional rod holders, but nothing works as good as this, and nothing is as cheap as this. It's just regular old Schedule 40 PVC pipe. Cut it in about 3-foot lengths, cut it at an angle, and this is what we use to drive down in the sand and put our rod in it. Now, the base of these rods are a lot thicker than our average rod. So the base of my rod's about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. So I've got 2-inch PVC pipe. Whatever size PVC pipe you get to use your put your rod in, be sure that your rod's going to fit in it. So anyway, that's pretty much how it works. You put that down in the sand, drop a rod in it, and we're off and fishing. Works really nice. Another thing I would suggest get are these glow sticks. You can get these at Walmart, Toys R Us in the toy section. They're just cheap little old glow bracelets. And what we do with these is if we're fishing after dark, we take one of these out and we break it open, get it glowing, and then we zip tie it to the end of our rod, and that way you can kind of see your rod bouncing. If a fish hits it, you don't miss a fish that. The last thing that you absolutely need to get are some weights. They make these sinkers, pyramid sinkers will work. Now this one is actually what they call a surf weight. This has already got the arms on it, and you just fold these out, and basically what this does is it gives it some grip down in the sand. If you get into a heavy tide or heavy surf or a lot of wind, this will kind of hold that weight down in the sand and hold your line good and tight. But you don't have to get these fancy weights like this. I think they sell them at Bass Pro. They don't sell them at Academy, but you can order them offline if you want to. But regular old pyramid sinkers will work just fine. And they make some, this is a commercial weight. Same thing, same basic principle. It's got the arms that fold out, and they're flexible, but they hold the line good. And then if they do get hung up in something, they just bend and fold out of the way. And then they make some stuff like this. This is more of a novelty. This is designed to sit in the sand, and then once you get a hit, you start bringing in, these arms flip out of the way like that and create less drag, but they don't really work that well, so I wouldn't waste your money on buying something like that, but it's neat to have. Kind of looks like a Sputnik. Anyway, and that's the things that you absolutely need to get. You need to get a surf rod with a spinning reel and your braided line. I suggest a braided line. It takes up less space and it's a lot stronger. Now the terminal end, I've got all that taken care of. I've already bought all the leaders and everything that we need. I make these myself, and this is what we're using to catch fish. This is a 15-aught circle hook, okay, and it's on 135-pound steel leader. And the reason we use steel leader is those redfish, especially the big ones, got really sharp gill plates, and of course got sharp teeth, and they'll cut right through that braided line. So we've got this steel leader, kind of gives it some more durability in case we catch a big fish. And then I've got this sliding barrel swivel on here, and this is what we attach our weight to. So we hook our weight to it. Of course, we load our either blue crab, mullet, or croaker, or whatever we catch. Some places down there we'll buy some bait, just whatever the fish seem to be hitting. And that's kind of how it works. We cast it out there, and that weight hits the sand, and it gives it a good grip. You pull your line tight, and then this wet bait just kind of flops around out there until the fish hits it, and then we catch him. So that's really all you need. Now, what I do to catch shark is a little bit different. It's the same setup as this. It's just kind of on steroids. This is not something that you need to get. Just if you want to get the equipment, or you have the equipment, go ahead and get it. Something's biting me right now, and it hurts. This is what I do for shark. Okay, this is just an old conventional reel. I wouldn't spend the money on a high dollar ocean rig unless you just want to. This is just a cheap Shakespeare called Arsenal, and this is a heavy action 6.5 foot rod designed for either big catfish or medium-sized ocean fish. I actually caught a shark, 60-pound shark with this thing, and I've got it rigged with 100-pound Power Pro braided line. I like that Power Pro. They're not paying me to advertise, I just like it. Spider wire, you can use that if you want to, but spider wire tends to be a little more expensive, and I don't think it works as good. So anyway, I've got this. It's a sturdy shark rod, conventional spinning reel with 100-pound braided line on there. And the terminal tackle is very similar. It's just kind of on steroids. Now, this is the hook I use. Pretty good size hook. That's a 20-aught circle hook on a heavy steel leader. Same basic setup. The difference is I use this as a weight. This is just concrete in a cup with a wire attached to the top of it to give it something to hang on to. And I've made a bunch of these, and they're inexpensive. And of course, you can't cast this out. We have to have a kayak or a boat or a jet ski or something along those lines to paddle us out there. But what I do is I take my bait, and I'll usually use a whole mullet or a whole live whiting or croaker or something that I caught off the beach. Put the live fish on there with this weight, put it on the kayak, and we kayak out there about 200 yards or so, maybe farther, and drop this whole system in the water. And what happens is, just like with the other system, this pulls it nice and tight, and this weight holds it really, really tight. And then this bait just floats out there and catches a fish. Now the difference is, look here, on this weight, I've got 6-pound monofilament, which is strong enough to hold that in place. But when the big fish hits it, it snaps, and now I've got just a line, just a fish. Now, of course, I lose the weight, not a big deal. I've made a whole bunch of them, and if you're environmentally concerned, this sackcrete just dissolves in the salt water, and this regular old uncoated, unpainted steel wire just dissolves. So we don't hurt the fish. But anyway, I've made a bunch of these. So if you want to try that when you get there, you got a big shark rod or something, we're going to have a kayak out there, and you want to bring another reel, that's fine. But we're going to catch some fish, y'all. So in summary, surf rod, 12 to 15 feet, spinning reel, and Power Pro or some type of braided line, 65-pound test line or bigger. I wouldn't go bigger than 80 because that starts to take up too much space, but rod holder made of PVC, and some weights. Get you some sinkers, 5 to 8 ounces will work. If you want to go to Bass Pro, or you want to get online and look and see if they've got the actual surf weights that got the arms and the claws on them, that's fine. But a regular pyramid weight will work. I have some extra stuff, so we get down there and we start running out of equipment. I've got some stuff. Anyway, I think that's about it, guys. So, got any questions, give me a call, and let's go catch some fish.